we're talking about, you got to be conscious, you got to be aware, you got to be present. We can't just kind of glide through life doing what we've always done and expect things to change. So I have to be present, I have to be conscious, I have to be aware, at least in the moments that challenge me. And I have to remember, kind of what I heard Jen say earlier, I have to remember that in that moment I have a choice, and you know what? I know now who I want to be in my life. I know who I want to be in this situation. And I have to bring my consciousness back to that. I have to bring my awareness back to that and begin to make choices and decisions that reflect that choice, that reflect that view, that idea, that vision of who I want to be in life. We move from who we think we are to who we want to be. And that's when we begin to create our lives. All right, so let's look at this next slide. So again, in the excerpt tonight, I talked about defensiveness, and I gave a couple of examples that I'll reiterate right now for you guys. There have been occasions, and it happened more than once, where I misinterpreted a communication from a client or from somebody I was in relationship with, and I became defensive. I became, my guard went up, and I was ready for a fight. I was ready to attack. I was ready to defend myself, and I was certain that the information that I was operating off of was correct. And to my shock and my chagrin, when I was able to reflect on those situations and go back over what actually happened, I could see that I misinterpreted the communication from the other person or whatever based on my own distorted thinking, based on this fear. Now, defensiveness is a symptom, it's a characteristic of fear, and based on this distorted view of myself. And it was very sobering to begin to notice that, wow, there are situations where I can't even read an email correctly. I can't have a phone conversation correctly because I'm so afraid that somebody's going to say something to me or do something to me and I'm not going to be able to defend myself. I'm not going to be able to take care of myself. And that's the mind of a 6-year-old. And I can say now for me, working backwards and looking at my past, I can see that I had, I was criticized a lot as a child. I was criticized a lot, and I didn't know how because I was a kid. I didn't know how to stand up for myself. I didn't know how to take care of myself. I thought that was true, what was being said about me or to me, and I internalized that. And then when I become an adult, because I haven't healed that, I haven't worked through that, because I don't even know that that's what's running my life, when I get an email from a client and it looks like they're criticizing me, I completely go into automatic pilot and I go completely into reactionary mode. And I say something or do something which jeopardizes the relationship. And it's totally off base. And it's totally based on a distorted view of myself and of the situation and of the other person. Now again, maybe I'm the extreme case. I don't know. Maybe this is just me. But when I began to look at this and say, oh my God, what is running me that I can't even have a phone conversation without feeling like I got to protect myself, that I got to get ready for a fight. Now here's the thing, guys. It comes from, the problem is not that I have to fight. I mean, there may actually be situations in life where it's appropriate for me to stand up for myself. But the feeling of fear and the feelings of defensiveness come from the core belief that I can't take care of myself, that I don't know how to stand up for myself, that somebody's going to say or do something and it's going to be so painful and I don't know how to take care of myself in that situation. I perceive myself as powerless. So it's this powerlessness or helplessness that has to be changed. And I can tell you from my own experience now, as I've changed how I see myself, when I begin to question, am I really powerless? Am I really helpless? Do I not know how to stand up for myself? when I began to question that, when I began to say, you know what, I'm not 6 years old anymore. I have tools. I have awareness. I have knowledge. I'm an adult. I do know how to take care of myself. Now, I don't misread emails anymore. I don't misinterpret phone conversations. I may not understand something, and it's okay for me to say, hey, you know, I need to get some clarification. I'm not sure I understood what you just said. Can you please clarify for me what you mean? As opposed to, well, getting defensive and saying, well, you're just screwed up. You don't know what you asked for, and I did exactly what you wanted me to do, and, whatever it is, blaming them, for my feelings and all of that. So, again, I keep saying it. As I change how I see myself, I change how I see the world, and I react differently, and as a result, I haven't misinterpreted an email in a long time. I don't have many challenges in my life in that regard. It used to be a constant thing. I had bosses who were so critical of me, and they were like people, they would look over my shoulder, and they were always second-guessing my choices, and I don't have any of that in my life anymore. And the only thing that's changed is how I see myself. The only thing that's changed is who I think I am. But I stop attracting those people. I stop attracting those situations when that program is no longer running.